welcome back to our medieval city, I guess you could call it, to be. A city full and operated by monster hunters. You're looking at them, baby. Yes, indeed, my friends. Today we are going to be finishing up our settlement here in these treacherous woodlands in this necromancy forest full of undead and monsters, making it permanent once and for all. Not only for us and our monster hunting guild members, as well as really just the guild overall, but also for all those weary travelers who are looking for that beacon of hope and light before the sun sets on them here, creating a solid foundation in society built on hope in a place where there is none. Alright, enough monologuing, let's get to work. First things first, we have far too many members and not near enough housing for all of them, so we are going to be building a few more cottages and cabins for some proper lodgings for some of the more recent members who have joined us, such as Marie or Maverick. A nice, warm, safe, and secure home with their own little bit of privacy, their own little slice of heaven carved out in these woods, if you will. It's really just a shabby shack, but it's the little things that matter out here. A little bit of time later, and we actually received a pigeon with a note from House Soren. One of their leaders has a friend, or maybe a son, a relative, something like that, who is actually looking to learn about monster hunting and how we do things since we've set up our operations out here. And in exchange, they'd be willing to send someone from House Soren to assist us in our mission of protecting this place and caravans and the innocent and so on and so forth. So, of course, we accepted. This little connoisseur of monster hunting culture was going by the name of Danders and would arrive shortly thereafter, meeting us at the gate and making introductions with all of our hunters. He was a bit nervous, though, specifically around Maverick. Ah, don't worry about her, son. She's only half orc. Just make sure she doesn't catch you stealing any stew from her cottage. To help the two of them get acquainted a little bit better, Maverick would actually show Danders to the cottage that he would be staying in. He was still a little awkward feeling, especially since she decided to sit right in his kitchen and eat some stew, but that's okay. I think maybe she was asserting dominance, kind of like when dogs pee on trees to mark their territory, that kind of thing. Now then, with our guests squared away, enjoying some of our good old-fashioned hospitality, or however much we can afford to show him, I suppose, we have some real work to do. This place, as we know, and as I've mentioned many times, and you're probably sick of hearing me say, is extremely dangerous. These woods are nothing to mess around with, and as such, our top priority right now is going to be finishing up this wall around our would-be city to make sure that the undead stay out, as well as any other monstrous creature with sharp teeth and claws, unless we've got it stowed on the back of a pony with an arrow between its eyes. Finally, after several days and nights of exhaustingly hard work, we would finish up about 3/4 of the wall, with our northwestern side being all that we have left. And then, once that's completed, we need to fill the entire place in with a proper city, of course. I did want to mention, though, I have a pretty simple design here for some of the towers that are going to be incorporated into our walls, and the reason I wanted to mention these, of course, is these are going to be our entrances in and out of the city, and each of them are going to have a tower on either side of the gates, with some embrasures in them for defensive purposes, of course, allowing us to fire out some primitive firearms, crossbows, a bow and arrow, any type of ranged weaponry really, you name it, and even some fire pots in case we need to light some skeletons on fire, which, let's be honest, around these parts happens more often than you might think. However, construction of our wall would be halted when we noticed that there was an ancient, disgusting looking troll that had wandered into the area. Now technically this monster isn't hostile towards us, yet, but no doubt this son of a bitch has killed many a livestock and possibly even innocent farmer in its day. We're gonna put it down. Down into hell, that is. Well, Danders, you wanted a little sneak peek into our culture, eh? Take this crossbow. You are going to get some first-hand experience, little feller. Oh, by the way, aim for its eyes. Anywhere else and you'll just piss it off. Good luck. Now don't get me wrong, as much as I would like to use danders to try to lure this troll in as troll bait, I do think it might be best if Sir Garatus is actually the one who does it. Surprisingly, it hasn't attacked us yet. We're gonna have to hit it here probably another time or two to really piss it off. Okay, I don't like that it was right there when it happened, but that's alright. Let's see if we can, yeah, we'll try to lead it out this way. Here we go. There we go. Now, if we could keep it stunned right there, that would be amazing. Let's fire off the cannon. Yes. Alright, Danders. Danders, my boy. Come, come, come. Enjoy. Come get a, get in on the action here, my friend. I'm gonna bring Sir Garatus up this way. Danders? Danders, I need you. There you go. Making sure Danders can shoot at it as well. This is how we prefer to do our troll hunting, I must say, behind some nice, safe walls. Let's get Danielle in here, too. Now, trolls actually have a pretty significant healing ability, so the cannons are an absolute must, even if it may seem a bit silly. Let's rearm that one. I need this one manned. Try to get another shot off at it to stun it again, if we can. And I'm going to try to rearm that one. We're out of ammo for both of them, which, that was a lot of cannons. That was a lot of cannon fire. Oh shit, here it comes. Alright, we might actually, yeah, we're gonna have to step back. Hit it with a torch dial. There we go. So we do have it stunned slightly. It is going to come across there, though. And we will attempt to do our best here at killing it once more. I am going to stun it. It did not get stunned. Most likely where we already done it, though. Let's see if we can hit it with a fire pot. No. Let's get moving up this way. With it being as injured as it is from the cannons, we should be able to kill it with enough arrow, fire, but still. It's still an extremely dangerous creature. We've basically wounded it and backed it into a corner, even though it's kind of getting us into a corner, actually. Danders, you need to be careful there, Danders. You are about to experience a little bit too much of the monster hunting culture. Oh my. We definitely... Oh, damn it, Danders. No, 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 no. You're going to get killed, Danders. Careful. Oh, shit. Ah, Danders. All right, somebody get Danders. Damn amateur. Well, now you'll... Oh, no, I forgot. They get back up very easily. Wait. We need to kill it, people. It got back up. That's a little, very concerning, come to think of it. Danders. There we go. The problem is trolls constantly get back up. I want Minotaur. Damn you. They fall and then they get right back up. There we go. Finally. Finally we killed it. Their healing abilities are insane. Let's get Danders tended to. Damn dirty amateur. And then we'll let you pose and maybe get a painting or something next to the kill. That way you can take it home and tell all your pals at House Soren about how good you did. Since our house and yours have something of an alliance, I suppose we'll use some of our decent medicine on you. Plus, keeping you alive is the only way that we'll get another member, so that's what we'll do. This did make me think as well. Relying on wild medicines to grow out in the forest and going out to find them and collect them isn't exactly completely reliable, honestly. So we're going to start growing our own little field of cotton and fly agaric. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a natural medicine that we can actually use to tend to our wounds, and with a bit of research, perhaps we can even use it as well as heal root to make some higher grade medicines. With that completed, let's start doing some construction. No, not on our wall this time around, although we do need to get back to work on that fairly soon. I think everyone could really use a bit of a celebration for all their hard work. And so we're going to be turning our little tower here into something of a grand dining hall. A place large enough for us as well as all of our visitors and guests to eat, enjoy each other's company, get warm by the hearth, so on and so forth. But also a place for festivals and parties. Now, as house members of the House of the Rotten Boar, we do celebrate the Feast of the Rotten Boar once per year. But as the Monster Hunters Guild of the Unyielding Light, perhaps we have our own festival, known as the Feast of Troll's Heart, to celebrate this grand occasion. It's quite momentous to take down your first troll, and so I feel we should celebrate it. The celebration shall be set for the 12th of December, which is actually tomorrow, which is perfect because we have a troll to butcher to make troll steak, sizzling meat of delicious fatty texture, as well as plenty of potato stew and soup to boil. All this food and what have you would take us all day to prep, but we got it done just in time for the feast. Gather around one and all. I know, it's been a treacherous, dreary journey thus far ever since we arrived here and set up our guild, but today marks a change. We're gonna start partying, we're gonna start trying to enjoy ourselves while protecting the realm. Please help yourselves to the finest cuts of troll steak as well as some of that potato soup. Perhaps we'll even tell a few jokes about how Dander's got his arm almost ripped off by said troll. Oh, you dumbass. Or perhaps some of us will find love. Oh my. Apparently Sir Gerardus flirted with Marie by complimenting her family history and background. Oh wow, and now the two are lovers. Truly though, I think that this little flame may have started when he rescued her from that cave of monsters, wooed her and swooned her off her feet. Well, is it just me or is it hot in here? Or perhaps it's that giant pyre that we burn corpses on? Well, either way, I think a fellow with a lover needs a proper home, a much larger home, and seeing that Sir Gerardus is the captain of our monster hunting guild, this is only fitting as well. We're going to be building him quite a large cottage just to the north above the tower. It shall have some of life's finer things like shelves with books on them, some proper drinking chalices, a nice rack for some weapons, a fur, soft bed. Oh my god, truly living lavish out here in the woods, eh? A lavish, luxurious life for two. Truly, I'm quite glad that Sir Gerardus has finally found someone, as well as Marie. They both deserve someone. Each other, even. Well, we've gotten ourselves a fine holiday, a great big troll hunt, and also our captain has found a lover. What could be better than that? Well, not much. But a second best would be finishing off this damned wall so that we're all safe and sound. Especially because in recent days, the number of death pools that have been encompassing the area and laying forth a thick soot onto the land have been increasing. However, in the middle of construction, we got word that we had some visitors from a nearby village coming through the forest, and they were requesting to stay here. Obviously, we couldn't turn them down, but the problem was we didn't have any guest beds yet. Nevertheless, we will assure their safety. The caped and hooded adventurer would arrive from the southwest and quickly make their way towards our fort. We ushered them inside post-haste. We've killed most things and burned their corpses in recent days, but the death pole is nothing to mess around with. If we were to have missed a skeleton or two, they could come and try to kill this young adventurer. Best you stay inside and enjoy your troll stew. In the meantime, young Danders here is going to be heading back home. Oh, I hope you've enjoyed your time with us, my friend. Sorry about the troll almost killing you and all that. Let's hope that your medieval home is not all that upset about it either, eh? We would usher him off and also escort him to the gates, at which point his counterpart, Yefim, would meet him halfway and also would join us as a true monster hunter. Welcome aboard, friend. You're a little bit old to be monster hunting, aren't you? I know they said that you were a grizzled veteran of many of House Soren's wars, but I didn't know that that meant you were ancient. Almost mistook you for a walking corpse. Look, Grandad, I mean no disrespect, but I need the best of the best. Just try to keep up, okay? And perhaps, if you have the time, lend a helping hand to the others who are finishing up our wall. We need to ensure that we... Oh, shit. Great. Looks like the fort is under assault by the Undead. An entire horde of them. Luckily, it doesn't seem that any are carrying any weapons, except for their leader, who is a Death Knight with a massive sword and shield. Oh man. Again, they seem to be more intelligent than we ever gave them credit for, coming from the side where our wall was unfinished, and coming right in as we make a strategic retreat back further towards the south. This seems to be a group of 15 of them. I'm going to be using our bows for obvious reasons. I want to try to stun them if and when we can, but there are far too many of them here. I want to try to lead them through the town. That's really about all we can do, I think. Yeah, we need to be very careful here. Just an entire little wave of them. Yefim only has a short bow. That's all we had in storage. Oh no, get us here. Let's go through this way. Okay. They just barely missed us. Let's go, 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 go. Go this way. I'm trying to stay as far away from them as possible, but Yefim only has a short bow. That's all we had. We don't have any decent bows, unfortunately. At least none that we could spare. Sounds like they're beating the absolute hell out of our town. Oh god, the Death Knight. He destroyed our well, one of our water wells. Go. I like this idea of divide and conquer, essentially taking them through the town. They're going to end up getting lost. Though they might seem smarter than we initially gave them credit for, they're not the most intelligent creatures ever. So we have one over here beating on our walls and gates. I have another one up here. We have one here. We have some over there towards the other gate. Let's see if we can take out their Death Knight. He is definitely going to be the toughest of all. Thankfully, the death pole has already subsided, it would seem, so we don't have to worry about them raising. Okay. Uh-oh. We have a little one coming right for us. Oh, we managed to kill the Death Knight. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And they're fleeing? The undead are fleeing? How strange. It's almost as if someone or something is influencing their decisions. So unusual. Alright, what we need to do... First and foremost, we need to finish off any and all of them that are still alive. And then immediately, we need to start burning their corpses at the pyre, which needs refuel. This Death Knight, on the other hand, is going to get butchered, though. Yes, because we want some of the steel from his unique ancient armor, as this steel is going to be quite useful for us. There we go. 50 steel from the Death Knight. We could butcher the others. I don't really care. I'm not too worried about it. They don't give as much steel, so if we burn them or butcher them, as long as they're no longer around, that is what is important. I'm actually going to let Miniton start cremating them. Yes, burn, you filthy, disgusting, undead swine. No more of this in our neck of the woods. This is no longer a forest of the undead, I'm afraid, you poor saps. This is for the living and for the hunters. We're looking pretty good if we can manage to get this finished up before the next wave of undead or monsters or whoever. We do have a lot of corpses. We have other Death Knights that we've killed recently that need to be cremated. We also have cursed bears. We need to get rid of all of these with some cremating ASAP before another death pole sets in, because that would really, really suck to have to fight another wave of them. But regardless, it would seem that we have kept our current visitor and guest completely safe during the assault of corpses, which is a huge step up from the first time when the elves almost died. We don't have to mention it. Now with that, we would finally finish up our wall, completing it once and for all. And would you look at that? Finally, a properly secure, safe, and encompassed city, fully encompassed by a grand marble and also a little bit of limestone stone wall. This is a crucial and monumentous accomplishment that I am quite proud of. Finally, we are no longer a simple foothold here in this necromancy forest, but a permanent monument. A few days later, we had received word about 4 desperate refugees who were approaching the fortress. Their leader, Lewis, apparently claims that they had lost their village in a recent attack by monsters and beasts of the night. They're unsure where they are, where they went, or what they were. This claim seems a bit outlandish, or misinformed. How would they not know what they were? I suppose it could have been dark when it all happened, of course, with it being at night. They seem like some decent, honest folk, and we are all about helping people. Very well, you may all stay with us for a time until you're back on your feet. But if you're going to be staying here for longer than a night or two, you're gonna have to work to earn your keep. Yeah, sure, we're all about helping people when and where we can, but we still have places to be, things to build, meals to cook, and a quota to meet, of course. So, we could use a helping hand from time to time. We definitely wouldn't turn one down. Speaking of which, we hadn't even counted on having any refugees or nomads that would have been staying with us for quite some time. We had only threw down a few sleeping spots in the tower for any weary travelers for, as mentioned, a night or two. That being said, we are going to be building something of a... I don't know, what would you call this? Maybe slums or something like that? Basically, some very low cost and quite simple housing for any refugees or nomads who end up joining us, such as the 4 that are currently gracing us with their presence for a while. Well, regardless of what it would be called, we ended up finishing this large building with a nice outdoor seating area where they can actually eat their meals, store their things, and then, during the night, whenever they're ready to rest, go into their tiny little rooms and get some much-needed shut-eye. Again, it's not much, but beggars can't be choosers, especially not in this forest, am I right? Our special medicine was also finally grown out in the field, and it was time to harvest. But you know what? This gives me an idea. What if we start setting up some proper specialized buildings now that we have a vast majority of the residential areas set up in our city? And so it was, we started working on an apothecary and/or witch doctor area, depending on how you look at it. Some lucky quack is going to get to work here in the very near future as our town's doctor. Not only would this be a wonderful place for us to go about making different types of potions and serums, but it would also be a wonderful place for us to go about tending to our wounded whenever they may need a little pick-me-up like herbal medicine or other types. And this would also be used as a storage place for those said medicines as well. Battle elixirs, maybe something to fight erectile dysfunction, I don't know. Funny enough though, Sajaki here actually ended up requesting to join us. He enjoyed his stay here so much, and obviously it's not like he has a home to return to, so we would accept. Do you remember a moment ago I was saying that some lucky quack is going to get to work in our apothecary shop? Well, little did I know that the gods had already sent us one, in the form of Sajaki, who just so happens to be a practiced doctor. What are the odds? This actually is a pretty incredible coincidence. We let him into our storehouse. Take what you need, anything at all, Sajaki. Just whip us up some decent medicine and maybe one of those potions we were talking about a moment ago. I'm just kidding. Unless... Listen, I'm dying to get back to the monster hunting, but it's going to take us a hot minute before we can go about doing that, because our population has been absolutely booming, exponentially so in the last few weeks, and as such, we don't have enough housing, we also don't have enough bathtubs or places for people to wash and use the restroom, which is currently what we're working on with the bathhouse. I do want to touch, though, on the fact that a moment ago, of course I'm saying I do want to get back to monster hunting. We don't actually have any monsters to hunt at the moment, also why I've decided to take this opportunity to build up our city, like with this wonderful bathhouse that you see in front of you now. Not only is this a bathhouse, but this is one where we can actually boil water using burning coals and logs. Yes, not only do we get to take a bath, but it's not the lukewarm lake water anymore. It's actually warm and hot water on occasion. A little something that we learned how to build from the capital city of the Rotten Boar House. An engineering marvel in this day and age, truly. Now, going along with what I said earlier about the population being crazily increased here recently, we also don't have enough food to feed everybody, so we're making a great big field of cabbage, potatoes, and peas right up here to the northwest in the city. And this new field of crops should solve our little hunger issues for the rest of our city's duration. And if not, we'll just expand it. Once we had finished this field, though, we had noticed a gigantic dragon snake? No, it has legs. A lindworm, some type of giant reptilian-looking creature, had entered the land. Normally, unless monsters are vicious or evil, we don't really give a shit. But, as Sajaki had pointed out, he believes that this is the same creature that had destroyed their home. Remembering their scent and tracking them down to our little Luxin Tenebris here in the forest. Very well, tonight we dine on reptile, but first we'll need to prepare our attack. We don't need a repeat of the troll almost nabbing one of us and ripping their arms off, no. We need to start preparing some proper weapons behind our embrasures. We do already have a couple of cannons at this side of the wall, but a couple of rock boxes in both towers should help out quite a bit. This will allow us to dump boulders on top of its head, stunning it and rendering it injured while we continue shooting at it with cannons and arrows. So here's the deal. Allow me to tell you our plan of attack. I am going to pause just for the moment. We have folks on our cannons, of course, and we also have a person by each rock box ready to activate it. The problem is you don't man the rock box, you have to activate it at a specific time. The lindworm is out here, and is actually coming a little bit towards us. I'm going to attempt to hit it with our cannons. We're going to piss it off, and it is going to see myself and Dial at the gates and attempt to come and get us, leading it closer so that we may actually hit it with our rock boxes, right? We're going to have to make sure we do this at an appropriate time, otherwise we're going to get bit. And why Dial and myself? You might ask. Well, my young squire and I am a knight of much renown and honor, and of course bravery, and that ties into this, because this is a very brave thing to do, and Dial, my young squire, is just as brave, with plenty of heart. So, we fear nothing, not even this devilish beast. And with that, I am going to go ahead and launch some cannons at this big-ass snake. We have stunned it. Oh, and we're making the crows fly off. It actually might be a good idea. Come out here and attack it as well. I know my bow will hit it. We're hitting it with the cannons from a distance. We might not even... Nah, we'll definitely need to piss it off. It's... Oh my god. From the cannons, it has a single bruise. This may have been a huge mistake, I'm not going to lie to you. Let's hold fire on the cannons, okay? I don't want to use up all our ammo, and we're going to have Dial back here, and myself, I'm going to wait. That's actually insane that the cannons only slightly bruised it. Here it comes, here it comes. Let's set up our cannons to aim for about right there, and hope that they can manage to hit it to stun it. They did a little bit. They did a little bit. That's good. So a lot of us are actually able to hit it with our bows from here, which is good. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Can we hit it with a fire pot? I don't want to get too close. Let's see if we can start hitting it with fire pots. We have to be very careful because we could get hit by our own cannons. I would try to rearm the cannons, but I don't... Oh my god! Okay, so Lindworm is down. However, that was very close. Thank God, we only got bruised from that. That could have been really bad. Like, lose limbs kind of bad. Oh my God, that would have been horrific. Whew, that was a very close call. Normally, we are the ones to kill these creatures. However, since our guest here are the ones who lost their home to it, perhaps they should get their gallon of blood. Their pound of flesh, if you will. Let's beat it to death. This is what it feels like, you monster. Ah, and with that, your reign of terror is over, you disgusting, vile piece of lizard shit. We didn't even have to use the rock boxes. That's actually a lot easier. The cannon's done much better than I thought they would. With the troll, we didn't have that earlier, but you know what? We didn't have as many people, and I wasn't nearly as well prepared as I should have been, so that probably has something to do with it. No holiday for the lindworm, but I am going to butcher it, I'll tell you that much, and we are going to eat it. The thing about lindworms, too, not only should we get some flesh and meat, of course, that we can eat and hide, that we can tan, and blah, 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 but I think with lindworms you also get scales, which you can use to make armor. Yes. So we have 2 broad scales, and we actually have its hide. Ooh, we also have its blood. Oh my God. It's so corrosive that it could melt through plate armor. Well, it's a good thing it didn't get close enough to bite Circulatus, otherwise it probably would have melted straight through my armor and went into my flesh and killed me. That didn't happen, thank God. However, the lindworm scales are impervious to the lindworm's acidic, poisonous saliva. Perhaps Miniton here could whip us up something out of that. Maybe not armor, we don't have enough scales, but maybe something else. A shield, perhaps. I would prefer to have my entire body encased and protected by the scales, but that's okay. A shield at least is mobile, so I can move to protect myself as needed, and it goes perfectly with my spear. Always best to try to keep your distance when poking or prodding a monster in the ribs, or in the eyes. Or at all, really. Now that we've cleared out any killer beast from the area for the time being, I also want to go ahead and expose us to the elements. And by that I mean tear down our old walls and towers, that way we can build new ones. In particular at our southern entrance, where previously we just had the big opening like the one that the troll came through earlier without really suffering any repercussions, except once he was inside the city, of course. But we are going to be building our 2-tower style down here with cannons and rock boxes, as well as some spike traps and wood barricades. This one, again, will be left open, that way enemies and monsters are enticed to come through this way instead. And just in case for some reason they're able to get past our defenses, or perhaps maybe we just don't make it down here in time to fend off whatever is coming through, we are actually going to be building a second layer of defenses. Something of a small open courtyard that is going to have even more traps, wooden barricades, and a spiked log wall. Yes, not exactly the most defensive wall, but again, this is a secondary defense, and if we need to, we can also fall back here or even behind it and fire through the embrasures of the log wall. But during all this construction, it would seem that the captain has proposed to his lovely, well, I suppose fiancé now, eh? In the coming months, they will be getting married. And by then, when they do, I hope to have an entire city finished. Perhaps we'll even invite the Jarl and his lovely family. But until then, the Jarl will want us to continue carrying out our duties as his loyal servant and knight. And one of those duties, of course, our most important duty, is to the fine people of the realm coming through this way. And as we've seen, we did create something of a refugee area for our friends currently staying with us. But what we don't currently have is a spot for all of those visitors who are only going to be staying a night or two, who previously have been sleeping on the floor of our tower, and that is a no-can-do. Not anymore. We are building something of a long hut, or a long house, I suppose you could call it. A simple shelter that can house up to 6, yes count 'em, 6 people for a few nights. this could be a spot for even the smaller caravans, or maybe just larger traveling parties, but the point I'm trying to get to here is that we have a larger place with more room for more people. The beds may only be some straw instead of nice, comfy, warm furs, but it sure beats sleeping on the floor of the tower, let me tell you. And with that, we're also going to be working on a few other specialized shops around the settlement here as well. This is going to be our tailoring shop, where not only are we going to be making clothing, capes, cloaks, things like that, but as well we'll be doing some taxidermy, mending, and also spinning of things like our cotton, which has recently been harvested. Now, of course, we don't plan on selling anything or making anything like that for any visitors or travelers, but mending and making clothing for us, as this is a permanent settlement, is going to be quite important over the next few years. We're also building some quick dirt pathing, packing in the dirt, cutting down all the grass and trees and brambles and bushes. That way we can move around this place much more freely and much more easily. Just in case it seems a bit odd as to why a Monster Hunters Guild would be setting up a city here, well, for one, we want a permanent settlement, and a city is going to be the best way to go about doing that. We're not doing any trading or anything like a capital city of the House of the Rotten Boar, but we are setting up a city where we're going to have all the amenities and shops like blacksmithing and tailoring that we're going to need to continue serving these lands in this region, this entire realm, essentially. These are must-haves given the situation, the time period, and everything above. And of course, Sir Geratus was around and took part in a vast majority of the building of the capital city, so it only makes sense that this would be something that he's quite familiar with. And it's fun. Also, it works. With a majority of our city finally constructed, Sam here, after all of her hard labor and lounging in our lodgings that we've provided for her, has decided she likes it enough and she can overcome her fears of Great Beast just to join us. Of course, we accept. And with our new monster hunter joining us, I think it's time that we put our smithy to good use, making her some proper chainmail and a nice helm. Ah, there we are, finally ready to take on the hellish horrors that plague this world. You're gonna do great out there, Sam. I have the utmost faith in you. You just take the pointy end of the spear and try to poke really hard whatever's coming at you. You got this. Ah, and would you look at that? A group of travelers coming from House Ambroise, coming to stay in our new longhouse. Yes, come, my friends, throw a log on the fire, have an apple, have some hearty stew, maybe rest in the bed. You're safe here. As they were resting, we would also end up having some elves coming through the region who would also stop in to rest here and to lounge with us for a night or two. I think we're gonna need to build another longhouse, or just some larger quarters in general. We're getting full capacity pretty quickly. The visitors from House Amboys were so happy about their stay here, they decided to leave us a gift of silver to help fund our operation. Mighty kind of you folks. Not required, of course, but very much appreciated. Throughout this episode, my friends, we have truly made a safe city for all travelers, visitors, caravans, so on and so forth, coming through the region, and I am quite proud of it. But all good things must come to an end. Oh, the city? No. Our refugee friends are leaving. Of course, though, there were only 4 of them, and 2 of them have decided to join us in our cause here of protecting the realm from monsters, so they would be seeing their 2 friends off into the forest. Godspeed on your travels. You know, most people of the realm would caution you against kindness, because kindness can be taken advantage of. But in our case, our kindness, our valor, and bravery of accepting those in desperate need and in hard situations who require safety, who require heroes, has only given us more kindness. It would appear it's contagious. But our city, our hope in the dark, our refuge to those in need is only going to continue getting larger and stronger, and so are our forces with any luck. Beasts and bastards beware, for protecting the realm is our sacred duty.